Good afternoon and welcome to Honeoye Falls-Lima. We're live here at James Dollard Athletic Stadium where today we have Section 5 Class B football between the visiting Geneva Panthers and home Honeoye Falls-Lima Cougars. I'm Peter Carosa, joined alongside today by Chris Carosa in relief of Steve Bradley, my normal partner, who's at family weekend for his daughter who's a freshman at University of New Hampshire. You can see sunny day here at HFL, not necessarily the crisp fall weather that you would expect for homecoming weekend in Western New York. Chris, you want to talk a little bit about the weather that we'll see today?
Well, anybody who's been out in the sun for a while, even if it seems like it's cool, if you're out in direct sunlight, you're going to get some heat. And what I'm looking at is the fact that Geneva's got their white uniforms on, and what does HFL have? The black uniforms. So I don't know if that's going to be a factor in today's game, but it will be getting hotter. We're still in the early part of the day, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact that'll have on both teams.
So here come the Honeoye Falls-Lima Cougars out on the field. Before we get started today, we'll talk about the keys to the game brought to you by Bullfinch Fund.
So key number one is Ray DeJesus. He is really a multitasking quarterback. He can run, he can pass, and he's got a good eye. When you look and you watch him, and he'll look down the field. He'll check off on the players. If he doesn't see anybody open, he'll take off. That means that HFL is going to have to be really careful about blitzing or anything that'll leave an open field for DeJesus to run down.
Next key, Geneva defense. Continued success. They started this season with 3 consecutive shutouts, 13 scoreless quarters to start the year, and they gave up their first points last week in a close loss to Wayne. Ultimately, a handful of special teams errors that cost them that game. Key for them today is how does their defense stack up against a talented offense like HFL? Can they continue the shutdown ability that they've shown throughout the first half of the season? Or are they going to be in for a long day?
Well, that brings us to our third key of the game, and that's just let Meacham cook. The offense has been scoring continually more points over the last few weeks, but it hasn't been as explosive as you might have expected in the past few years. Is this the game where we see a breakout for Matt Meacham?
So with that, we are just about ready to have the national anthem sung here at HFL. It will be sung live by a handful of HFL students on the broadcast. We will have a recorded rendition by the Honeoye Falls-Lima Select Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And with that, we are just about ready for the coin toss here at HFL. Now, before we do get started, I want to mention Geneva, 3-1 on the season. As we mentioned, those first 3 shutouts against Penn Yan, Dundee, Rochester Prep, and Dansville, Wayland, Cohocton. Then running into a tough Wayne team a week ago. HFL started the season with 2 losses, and then they were able to right the ship with a rivalry victory against Batavia, and then a statement win over Virtus Charter, 49-12. So both teams coming to the halfway point of their regular seasons. Chris, any thoughts here before we have the coin flip?
Well, let's see. We've got a couple of announcements that we could say when they're going out. As you can see, the captains are starting to line up for HFL. It's number 6, Matt Meacham, number 11, Andrew Rosenreed, number 1, Ben Cook, number 52, Austin Krigo. And it looks like on the Geneva side, it's Deshaun Bruce, Ray DeJesus, Joseph Salone, and Connor Greery. Referees for today's game: the referee is Robert Austin, umpire Bill Van Auken, linesman Corey Davis, line judge Graydon Van Rye, and back judge Christopher Green. Here they come for the toss.
So one of the captains you mentioned, number 5, Connor Guerreri for Geneva Panthers. His father, who tragically passed away this offseason, was the head coach of the Geneva Panthers. Head coach Larry Guerreri, also known as Coach G to the team. We have a new head coach as a result for Geneva, Colin Cooper, who we had a chance to talk with before today's matchup, and he talked about how proud he was of the coaching staff, the team, and the community overall on how they responded to the adversity they faced this offseason, as well as how they grew together and rallied together behind the tragic loss of their head coach.
There's the toss. Let's see who ended up winning. Looks like Geneva won. Are they going to accept it or? No, they're deferring. So HFL will likely receive the ball to start the game off. Geneva opting to get the kickoff in the second half. Good strategy?
Yeah, I mean, let's see how that Geneva defense responds here today. We talked about that being one of the keys to the game. Putting the ball in HFL's offense first.
Here we go. We're about to get underway. Again, it's 72 degrees and rising. On the field, it might be a little bit warmer.
This upcoming kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specializes in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
I'd like to thank everybody for watching today. It is a brilliant day. Maybe you're a little bit more comfortable inside your home or wherever it is you're watching, even if you're in the stands. Back for HFL is Keaton Yates and Connor Finn.
Keaton Yates had a major kickoff return for a touchdown last week against Virtus Charter. We'll see if he can do it again today to start this homecoming day.
Looks like it's Jake McCormack kicking off for Geneva. Here we go, about to start this homecoming weekend for HFL as they play their Geneva rivals. There's a kick high and a little short. It looks like Finn gets it on about the 20-yard line, breaking through the middle of the field, has a little bit open, keeps struggling up, and gets to the 44-yard line. A pretty good run back.
Yeah, so Matt Meacham will have tremendous starting field position. He's our Bullfinch Fun player to watch here today. You can see his numbers through the first 4 games.
Here we go. First play on offense for the Cougars. Meacham single set backfield. We have motion man coming across. There's the snap. Meacham fades back a little bit to pack. He's got lots of time scanning the field, still looking, throws it over the middle, and it is caught for a first down.
So the Cougars come out and let Meacham cook with a pass play, and you could see him going through all of his progressions there. Results in a Honeoye Falls-Lima, an HFMP first down. HFMP is proud to be celebrating 40 years of commitment to nourishing HFL athletes and their families.
First and 10 now from the 41-yard line of Geneva. HFL already clicking on offense. They got double wides, but it's a handoff up the middle, and we got a little bit of a gain, maybe about 5 yards, 4 yards. Make that 3 yards, 2nd and 7. So the key is really you mix it up a little bit so the defense doesn't get into any tendencies, and that's what we're seeing again. They're showing the same set, same formation, but they run different plays off of it. Meacham again back, waiting for the snap, double wide. And we have movement coming on the line, but it doesn't. There's a long pass, and it's deep, and it is caught for the touchdown, Andrew Eisenreed. How's that for a progression that set up that play?
So that was a tremendous touchdown pass by Matt Meacham, finding Andrew Eisenreed. Eisenreed, who's been nursing a lower body injury. We were only able to catch the tail end of that play on instant replay. But HFL striking first, finding the Meehan Architecture end zone.
The kick is up and good, and we've got 7 points for the Cougars at the start of this game. So we've got a little bit of a pause in action as HFL is about to kick off once more. I'd like to thank you all for watching today's broadcast. Okay. Again, Alexander Enterprises is sponsoring this kickoff. Alexander Enterprises specializes in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. So we'll have a chance to see Geneva on offense, see what they have as the kickoff. There's the ball. It's fairly deep. Fielded at the 15-yard line, taking a track right up the middle, and he runs into a pile of humanity at about the 29-yard line.
So that'll give us a chance to introduce the player to watch here on defense for HFL. Defensive end, number 5, Cooper Levine, senior. We talked about having to be able to contain Ray DeJesus for the Geneva Panthers, and he'll be one of those guys who will be looking to keep contained.
This is our first look at the Geneva offense and Ray DeJesus. And it's a snap directly to DeJesus, and he takes it up the field for, I'm sorry, that's Deshaun Bruce. Took it right up the field. It was a direct snap to the running back.
I believe that was actually number 7, or was that 1?
It was number 1.
Yeah, Deshaun Bruce, wide receiver, cornerback. Coach Cooper had nothing but good things to say about him. He grew up playing soccer, and he made the transition to football about 3 years ago. Coach Cooper credited Coach G with getting him to transition over from soccer to football, and he's been an immediate impact player for this Panthers team.
Under center, we have another flag on the play. No gain. Let's see who are the penalties against. And it was against Geneva, was declined. So it'll bring up 4th down and 8.
I believe it should be third and 8.
Nope, 4th and 8, or 4th and 7. The field marker is not correct because they declined the penalty. Is that DeJesus in the back lining up for the punter, or is that Jack McCormick? Tough to tell on the numbers. Here's the snap and the kick. It was McCormick. It's a high kick, but it's short. HFL lets it bounce. It slightly favorable for Geneva, but it's inside Geneva territory.
So HFL offense ends up being the beneficiary of a 3-and-out there by the Geneva defense. Here we'll take another look at that punt. As you can see, it took a Cougar bounce, stays on the Geneva side of the field. And after that big home run play by the Cougars to start on offense, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out just as aggressive.
Well, let's see. Now they've got triples on the near side. Here's the pass. Meacham drops back. There is a little bit of a rush. Throws it over the middle to Finn, and Finn really breaks a tackle down the line. Goes down the sideline. Looks like he stepped out around the 30-yard line.
That was senior running back Ben Cook on the screen here for HFL. Great setup. You can see the linemen getting well downfield, making some key blocks. Running backs for HFL are by committee. Cook's been kind of the go-to guy, more of the power back, trying to get him involved in the pass game as well. They've kind of cycled him into an up-back tight end position. That time he runs a screen route from his running back position.
Look, we got the same formation as we just had, so we're going to see what they run off on this one. Meacham takes the quick pass over to the sideline down, split end screen, and he's running down the sidelines and gets into the 12-yard line for another first down.
Yeah, Keaton Yates, who's been a real impact player for HFL the last couple weeks, he's been thrust into action due to the injuries that have been affecting the HFL secondary and wide receiver core, and he's just been able to come in and make plays as the Cougars get a first down, which is, of course, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. The butchers at HFMP will cut your meat to order. It doesn't get any better than that.
Weisenreed actually made a good block on that previous play. Got a new formation here, split backfield. Meacham calling the numbers, takes the snap, hands off, and takes the ball himself over to, looks like the 6-yard line. Little handoff fake that got me. Probably got a little bit of the Geneva guys, too.
Yeah, read option there by Matt Meacham. Not really known to be a runner. He has run the ball a handful of times this season, but able to pull it there, catch the defense maybe a little bit off guard, and he's going to wind up getting a handful of yards, make it second and about 8 inside the 10-yard line for HFL.
The receivers are very wide, but the ball goes up the middle and in for the touchdown. HFL, that's number 2. Harrison Houle with the handoff to get the touchdown.
Yeah, just an inside zone run there for HFL. You can see handoff to number 21, Harrison Houle, able to find the gap pretty much untouched up until when he got into the end zone.
You could see on that replay how the wide receivers very split, drew the defense out. That really opened up that middle part of the field. Here's the extra point attempt, down, up, and looks like it was blocked.
Yeah, a bit of a low kick there by Avery Reynoldson. So score will stay 13-0. HFL putting up points early on the Geneva defense.
Yeah, well, we're going to see maybe Geneva might mix it up a little bit more on offense now. They don't want to get too far behind too early, especially with the conditions the way they are. People are going to get tired in the second half.
So this upcoming kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathroom, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
That series for HFL on offense, it seemed to be much more traditional. Smash mouth football, going up the middle, a couple of those plays, running plays. Even the pass play was really not as aggressive as the first series. So HFL appears to be mixing it up on offense. Again, remember, they had different sets in both series, and that might be an impact. What's that telling the defense? It's going to be tougher to read. Here we go with the kickoff. Oh, it's a high, deep kickoff going all the way back into the end zone. You rarely see that in high school.
Yeah, and that's senior quarterback Matt Meacham, who's the kickoff specialist, able to nail that one all the way back for a touchback. And it's not like we have a lot of wind here today in Honeoye Falls.
Seems like his kicks are deeper than they've been this season.
So one thing I'm thinking here is the pressure now really shifts to this Geneva offense. Down 2 scores. You know, we're not even halfway through the first quarter. They haven't faced an offense like this so far through their first half of their regular season. They just got to get a first down here, try and build some momentum.
And DeJesus back to pack his blitz. He gets the ball off wide open down the field, down the sidelines. We've got going. He breaks a few tackles to the 45-yard line. That was Deshaun Bruce.
Yeah, Deshaun Bruce has been just the go-to wide receiver for DeJesus through the season. He's got 6 catches for 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he just finds himself alone in the flat, and he can make men miss in space.
Was that a breakdown on the defense? There was nobody on him.
Yeah, certainly DeJesus was able to extend the play in the backfield and keep his eyes downfield and find the open man. Not sure if HFL was in coverage or man-to-man there, but certainly can't leave a player like Deshaun Bruce wide open.
DeJesus under center, a pitch out again to Deshaun Bruce. This time he only gets a few yards.
Yeah, just a simple pitch play to the strong side of the field. Nice job there by a handful of HFL players led by number 5 for the defense. That's Cooper Levine, who was our player to watch, able to shed the blocker and make the stop.
It's 2nd and 7. It's interesting, HFL has been able to kind of shut down the running so far on Geneva. DeJesus takes it back. It's a reverse up, and that again, he gets through the... He was initially hit on the line, but he got a couple of extra yards on second effort.
Yeah, that was Antonio Pasante who ended up getting the reverse play there. Looked like he was going to be swallowed up in the backfield, but he's able to churn ahead for a handful of yards, make it a more manageable third down. About third and 3.
Well, now the choice is, are they going to run or are they going to pass? It could work either way, but it's going to be tough if they choose to run. They haven't been able to show a breakout on a run yet, and HFL is stacking the front, and it's a really a problem in the backfield and a messed up exchange.
Yeah, it looked like there was a breakdown, not on the same page there. Looks like DeJesus wanted to give the ball to Gianni Velasquez, and he wasn't ready to receive it, and the mesh point lasts forever. Ends up being a big tackle for a loss by the HFL defense. It'll result in 4th and 6, and it looks like Geneva's going to have to punt the ball.
McCormick's back again to punt. Receives a snap. There's the kick high, and it's going to be caught by HFL and immediately tackled by a gang of Panthers. Brought him down around the 31-yard line.
So that offensive series, little bit of momentum. There was that long pass play to Bruce, able to get the Panthers up towards midfield, but then the drive stalled out, and now the HFL offense goes back to work. They've already scored twice in this first quarter, and they were pretty much able to move the ball at will. We'll see if the Geneva Panthers are maybe able to make some adjustments defensively to slow down this HFL offense.
HFL showing the same formation as the last series. Meacham takes the snap, hands up the ball up the middle for about a 3-yard, 2-yard gain.
Steady dose of Ben Cook so far for the HFL offense. It was Ben Hool who had the touchdown on the last offensive possession. And it looks like Cook will check back in at running back for HFL.
Here comes Meacham back into the huddle. Showing a different formation, double wides. Still single set backfield. And Meacham drops back, passes off to the side, and it looks like it was broken up there by Timothy Moore from Geneva.
Yeah, pass intended for number 44, Chase Perryman, senior for HFL. He's one of the 2 newcomers to the team, lacrosse player here at HFL. He's going to go play lacrosse at St. Bonaventure next year. He ended up joining the team mid-season. Coach Russ said he's a great athlete who will bring some additional athleticism to the outside of this HFL offense, trying to get him involved in the first quarter here. Going to bring up 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8. Meacham resetting the backfield. We've got a man in motion and a fake handoff. Meacham looks deep, and he's got Wazenreed open. Oh, and he just overthrew him.
Yeah, love the play design here. You got the fake jet sweep to Keaton Yates. A little hezzy hay there by Meacham. Launches it deep downfield after the pump fake. Incomplete pass. Now the Cougars facing a 4th down of their own, 4th and 8.
It looked like what happened on that last play is that Meacham was forced to throw the ball a little bit early, right before Wazenreed broke. He threw it where Wazenreed should have been if he would have thrown it at the right time. So here's the punt, a high snap. The ball's over the head, and we're still going to try to punt it off, and he does get a punt off. It is a little short, over the 50-yard line, takes an HFL bounce. How did he get that through?
And HFL saying that a Geneva player got it. Waiting for a signal here from the officials.
It depends. I think the HFL player touched it first.
Nope, they're saying that Geneva's going to retain possession. HFL acting like it was a live ball. Just another display of athleticism by Matt Meacham. High snap, able to recover it and get a rugby-style kickoff. And instead of Geneva starting with the ball inside the HFL 20-yard line, they're going to end up at their own 40-yard line, so about right where they would have had the ball on their previous offensive possession.
Let's see if Geneva decides to come out with a pass again. Under center to Jesus. Takes the snap, fades back, has some time, throws it in the flat and dropped by Guerreri.
Yeah, just a simple out route by Guerreri. Take a look at this replay here. HFL defense giving a little bit of respect there to the receivers. Pre-snap, there's about 7 to 10 yards of separation, inviting Geneva to throw the ball short.
He was open. Even if he would have caught it, though, it would only been probably a 3-yard gain as the defender came up very quickly on the ball. Geneva breaks the huddle on 2nd and 10. Under center again to Jesus. Dropping back. He has some time. A little bit under pressure. Throws it in the middle. Intercepted. HFL has the ball coming down the sideline. And, looked like almost a horse collar tackle there. Inside the 40-yard line.
That's Connor Finn for HFL. That's his 2nd interception on the season. Strong safety, just kind of lurking in the middle of the field there. And DeJesus threw it into double coverage there and pays the price.
I wonder if he overthrew the shorter guy, because it looked like the ball went over his outstretched hands. And I don't know that there was a receiver where Finn was that was in a position to catch the ball. HFL back on offense. Double split. Meacham takes the ball, hands off to... Oops, where did he go there?
Ben Cook on the off-tackle run to the left side. Minimal gain.
At this point, I think what you're just trying to do is keep the mix going in the field. So, again, you don't want to show any tendencies, and you want to try to catch Geneva flat-footed when they come out of this play here. So the receivers are tighter in this particular formation. A little bit different. Let's see if we get a running play or pass play. It is a pass. Meacham is going deep, and he's got a completion there inside the 10-yard line.
That's number 8, Alex Steinhoff. He's setting up the Cougars' 1st and goal. Take another look. He knew he was open. He had outside leverage on Connor Guerreri for Geneva. Matt Meacham able to eventually see him and get the ball to him. Cougars now 1st and goal.
So they were showing run in that tight formation and ended up passing deep for a pretty good play. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Receivers are going way wide again, all the way across the field. They do this a lot and then have room going up the middle, which is what they do. They hand it off, and another touchdown for HFL. It's Ben Cook.
Ben Cook finding the Meehan Architecture end zone. Nice lead block there by Harrison Houle, who had the touchdown for HFL on their previous score. And Ben Cook falls ahead. Cougars extend their lead 19-0.
Let's see how they do on the extra point this time. They're only going for 1. There's the snap, and we got a whistle. Let's see what happened here.
Encroachment on the defense. Wonder if HFL cycles out the offense, and that's what they're going to do. They can move the ball half the distance to the goal line, given the blocked PAT last time. 2-point attempt here to try and make it a 21-0 lead.
This is from the 1-yard line. Does HFL have a push play?
Yeah, something you see at the pro level, the push play in high school. You rarely see players go under center. It's not too common for them, and you worry about the exchange. Instead, they go from the shotgun.
Split backfield, and in goes Connor Finn for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, we'll take another look at that play. Like you said, two running back set for HFL. Harrison Houle seems to be really taking on the role of the lead blocker so far in this one as he sets up a nice, easy conversion for Connor Finn, who's really worked into that utility back position for HFL. So this upcoming kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specializes in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
Well, I don't know about you, Peter, but I'm starting to smell that hamburger from the little shack over there where they sell food.
Yeah, Chow Hut's been open early today. We had the parade, fall weekend festivities here at HFL. Last night we had women's soccer playing. Later tonight we'll have the men's soccer team playing here in James Dollard Athletics Stadium. Just a great fall weekend, great weather, always exciting.
Meacham is lined up for the kickoff. The ref signals the go-ahead. Wait, no, there's a whistle. Go ahead, and off we go. Looks like a little bit of a shorter kick this time. But we've got a runner coming out and breaks through midfield just short of the 30.
Yeah, fielded by Deshaun Bruce and ultimately brought down by Owen Englert in coverage. Geneva now down 3 scores. I'm interested to see how their offense responds, a little bit even more of a sense of urgency. They had those first 3 shutouts. They were in a very competitive game last week with Wayne, and being down 3 scores, pressure starting to mount on this offense. But like I was saying before, they just got to try and get the production and get some productive plays early on this series.
DeJesus drops back but then brings forward, and it looks like he's going to be sacked. Not sure if that was a planned quarterback draw or if he just saw an opportunity.
Yeah, looks like just the pressure got to him. 4-man rush there for HFL, and it's Austin Kriego coming from his defensive tackle position to bring down DeJesus in the backfield. There might have been some extracurriculars after that sack. 2 players kind of getting each other's faces. Potential penalty, and yep, we are going to have, initially it looked like it was in the neighborhood of a personal foul, and we do against HFL. And it's only called against HFL, so we don't have any sort of offsetting penalties. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty, automatic new set of downs for HFL.
Yeah, you got to be careful. That's not the sort of thing that you want to get caught doing.
especially after a tackle for a loss.
Oh, yeah. DeJesus under center. Hands it up the middle, and the pile moves forward about 5 yards. That's actually one of the best runs they had today.
Yeah, just an inside run there by, it looked like Deshaun Bruce for Geneva. Able to pick up maybe six yards there. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Here's the same play right up the middle. This time really got nothing. Maybe a yard. No, he's not going to even give him a yard.
Yeah, I believe that was defensive end Cooper Levine on the stop for HFL. Comes in crashing from his outside position. Brings up 3rd and about 5 for Geneva. They're just on the Geneva side of midfield. Given that it's a 3-score game, about 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, I wonder if they're thinking this is 4-down territory, if they can get it close here on 3rd down.
2 minutes left in the 1st quarter, and HFL ahead 21-0. Geneva on 3rd and 4, takes a snap, and falls down, and he's automatically down in a case like that, for those who are used to the pros, with quarterbacks able to bounce up.
Yep, high school and college football, any player's knee or elbow touches the ground, automatically blown dead. Not sure if his legs got tangled up with the moving player in the backfield, number 33, Ricky Preston, but loss on the play, and got to think this is a punting situation, but
no, I think
Geneva talking it over. It looks like they're going to elect to call a timeout here. They take their first timeout. This timeout brought to you by Main Street Cafe. Main Street Cafe is your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials.
What do you think Geneva has to do? HFL defense seems to be pretty quick and doesn't give them a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing coming in this game was the run production that Geneva has had so far. 10 of their 13 touchdowns they've had so far have been rushing the ball. They average about 155 rush yards a game and only 82 passing yards. But certainly against a team like HFL, they're going to have to be able to find a way to just get that pass game rolling a bit. It looks like HFL's kind of giving them the short pass plays and then relying on their defense to come up and be able to fly and make the tackle. But in a 4th and 10 situation, they got to try and get the ball closer to the sticks.
There's the handoff, a fake handoff on the inside, and now we've got a trick play, a pass deep, wide open, and did he catch that?
Nope, that was a drop there, unfortunately, for Geneva. Pass there by number 11, Gianni Velasquez, looking in the direction of number 2, Timothy Moorer, and I thought he was able to reel it in, but falls incomplete. Was able to get behind the HFL defender.
Pass was a little short, but still catchable. And we've got a turnover on downs, so HFL starts in Geneva territory on the 42-yard line, 1st and 10, with just about a minute left in this 1st quarter.
And HFL's out in a wildcat formation. That's Connor Finn.
And HFL tries their reverse play, and then they're going deep. Wide open, Andrew Wazenreed catches it and falls into the end zone for a touchdown.
And it's again that Andrew Wazenreed, Matt Meacham connection, extending the HFL lead to 27-0. We'll take another look at that trick play. This is something HFL has loved to run in the past. They come out in the Wildcat and get the ball ultimately to Meacham, who is lined up outside and able to find a wide open Andrew Wazenreed.
HFL now lining up for the extra point. Snap down, up, and blocked again.
So another look at that blocked PAT. Looks like just a bull rush on the right side of the line. Before that kickoff, before this next kickoff, we do want to announce that Matt Meacham has set a new school record for career touchdown passes at 36 touchdown passes, surpassing Dan Hart, class of 2016, who had the previous record here at HFL.
And to celebrate, Meacham will kick the ball off to Geneva. There goes HFL, lining up for the kickoff. And he approaches the ball. Boom, there it goes. It's another high-flying kick, recovered at the 15-yard line. Running up the field, trying to get to the sideline, but can't do it. HFL brings him down around the 27-yard line.
Deshaun Bruce, he's been busy today on the kick return team. Decent return. And Geneva offense, again, just yet again find themselves in a deeper hole on the scoreboard. At this point, just got to try and string together a couple first downs, move with the ball down the field a bit.
HFL has been putting pressure on DeJesus when he drops back, probably coming to him quicker than expected. DeJesus is under center again. Comes back, hands it up the middle, and immediately met there for about a 1-yard gain, it looks like.
Looks like we might have a quarterback change there for Geneva. Number 12 is in the backfield now.
Prodigy Irvin. Well, 2's bringing the plays in. That's Timothy Moore, or not. Let's see what they're doing. Or they're going to let the clock run down to the end of the quarter.
Yeah, Geneva content with going to the end of the first quarter here. I'm not seeing number 3 on the field right now. So with the end of the first quarter, we'll take a brief commercial timeout here at HFL.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue, local, uncompromised, quality close to home.
Today's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises, for nearly 30 years, Alexander Enterprises has been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe in the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, milkshakes, fresh fruit smoothies, and more. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Bullfinch Fund, fans who are set on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Also, Meehan Architecture with the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls volleyball hosted Spencerport last night in their homecoming match, and they traveled to Gates Chili this Tuesday.
It looks like Geneva just gave up the ball. I'm not sure who the quarterback was on that one. They don't list the second quarterback on their depth chart. But if it's a new quarterback in there, that could have been responsible why there was a little mess up on the handoff. In either case, HFL has the ball deep in Geneva territory on the 25-yard line. Meacham still out there. And we have a flag on the play.
So it should be 1st and 10 for HFL.
Let's see what this penalty is. Looks like it's going against Geneva. 5-yard penalty. I'm hearing illegal substitution. So that didn't change anything in terms of the set. HFL stays in the same formation that it was. Single back, trips to the left. And the snap is over the head of Meacham. He picks it up on a bounce, and he's trying to get it off. Throws it deep. Whoa, he actually had somebody open down there, but he overthrew him by a mile. It was more of a desperation throw than an attempt to actually make a completion. But it was a good recovery that prevented the sack.
Yeah, pressure in Meacham's face. As you said, he had Keaton Yates out on the far sideline, able to just launch the ball downfield, avoid the sack, avoid the negative play. Brings up 2nd and 5 for HFL.
So that was a play they could afford to throw away, literally. Same formation again. Wazenreed's now off on the far side. Let's see if this might go to him or if they send it up the middle. And they know it's going to the other side. A little screen pass and brought down at around the 6-yard line.
Yeah, that's Chase Perryman, the newcomer, as we mentioned earlier on this HFL offense. That's a first down for HFL, which is, of course, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. At HFMP, 7 days of savings means every day you save. Be sure to check out their website or circular for details on their daily deep discounted item.
Now we got 3 wide to the right. Flip the formation. Meacham takes the ball, hands it off, and it is brought into the end zone again.
And that's Connor Finn this time, finding the Meehan Architecture end zone. So each running back now for HFL has found the end zone for a score.
Let's see what the extra point looks like this time. Waiting for the snap. There it is. Ball's down. Kick is low. I don't think that was blocked. I think it was kicking low.
Take another look here. See if the hold was good. Not sure if the laces were out. And it's worth mentioning Avery Reynoldson, kicker for HFL. She's also on the soccer team, dual sport athlete. Rule change a handful of seasons ago allowed athletes in high school to play multiple varsity sports. And something that I would imagine makes this a little bit difficult is that procedure of snap, hold to kick is something that you need to have down. And given that she's a dual sport athlete, probably might have a little bit of difficulty getting to all the necessary practices to really get that mechanic down.
It is definitely a sense of timing. It's not the kicking. It's just the timing.
It's the chemistry between the 3 players and being comfortable. And it seems like so far through this one, it just hasn't quite been there. The line has maybe struggled. I don't know if there's something that Geneva saw on the tape to overload that one side to get in the backfield. But something the Cougars need to try and clean up.
Well, Meacham is out there again, and he's going to kick it off. Let's see how deep he can put it this time. He's kicking in a different direction. Maybe that'll have some sort of impact. And the ref's arm just goes down, and here's the kick. High and deep on the 10-yard line, fielded by Geneva. Runs up the middle, squirming through the area, shuffling back and forth, and rolls up above the 30-yard line.
Timothy Moore on the return for the Panthers. Sets him up with decent field position, as you mentioned, able to get all the way past the Panther 30-yard line.
We've got a timeout on the field. I don't know who might have made that. All right, we've got a timeout sponsor, Main Street Cafe. It's your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. They're all there, and it's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials. Well, you're watching the homecoming game for the Honeoye Falls Cougars. They're playing the Geneva Panthers. Score right now, 33-0. 11 minutes left in the first half, I'm sorry.
So I was just trying to confirm with the spotter here in the press box. We're number 3. Ray DeJesus is for Geneva. Haven't seen him out on the field for the last 2 offensive possessions. It's been number 12, Prodigy Irvin, in at quarterback for Geneva.
Yeah, I don't see DeJesus on the sidelines either. Oh, there he is. Yeah, there he is in front of the bench. Doesn't look like he was hurt.
He's without his helmet, though.
Yeah, maybe he was hurt. Okay, they're in a shotgun formation, handoff up the middle. This is actually different too. It's a shotgun as opposed to under center.
Another stop in the backfield there by defensive tackle Owen Englert. Been able to make a couple plays here today for the defensive line of HFL. And whether it's an injury, whether it's something else going on, not having Ray DeJesus for Geneva is significant. The offense has really run through him the first half of this season for the Panthers, whether it be him running the ball or him passing the ball. Not sure how many snaps that number 12 Prodigy Irvin has had for Geneva.
Well, there's a pass up the middle, a little bit ahead of number 2, Timothy Moore. Looked like Moore might have expected the ball in a different location than where it was passed, but he could have caught it.
Yeah, I don't believe, looking at the stats, I know Xavier Praler, tight end, junior for Geneva, had some passing stats coming in this one, but I don't think Irvin has registered any sort of pass attempts until coming in the game today. Not sure what his rep situation is during practice, so I got to imagine that this is going to be quite difficult for Geneva to try and learn and develop chemistry on the fly for Irving and his receivers.
3rd and 10, Irving takes the ball, drops back, looks like he wants to run, but he's immediately brought down after a no-yard gain.
Yeah, nice job. Cooper Levine there, number 5, as well as Aaron Fasik, number 55. Levine able to just get off his block and fall into Irving to make the tackle, brings up 4th and 10, and got to imagine Geneva is rolling out the punt unit again.
Yeah, looks like McCormick out there to punt the ball. There's a snap, low, but the kick is off, and it's a line drive punt fielded in the air and brought immediately upfield, and he cuts across to the other sideline, and he's still squirming through the defenders who are attempting to tackle him. He's inside Geneva territory at about the 47-yard line.
That's senior wide receiver and linebacker Alex Steinhoff for HFL. Just the type of guy that, for Geneva, he's tough to bring down when he's in space, able to break 2 tackles there, ends up having to need 2 Panthers to bring him down. HFL sets up great field position offensively.
Meacham out there, single setback.
Number 11, or check that, I believe there's a new running back in the backfield. That's number 17. Gerald Lonther for HFL.
Gets about 3 yards. Bringing up second and, oh no, maybe that's 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
Lonther had his first touchdown of the season last week against Virtus Charter. We mentioned HFL running back position is a committee, and it's a deep committee.
Back to pass. Meacham sees someone open over the middle, and it's complete to the 20-yard line.
And another big play by Keaton Yates. First down for HFL. You can just see just a nice read, pass over the middle of the field. Keaton Yates able to haul it in just outside the red zone. That first down brought to you by HFMP. Treat yourself today and every Saturday with a slow roasted prime rib dinner and all the fixins from HFMP for only $18.99 each.
Ben Cook behind Meacham in the backfield. Now he shifts over to the right. Ball comes off. Quick pass by Meacham, and into the flat goes Landon Hammond.
Wide receiver screen play to Hammond. You can see the way that the defenders are lined up. It's a bit of a mismatch 2-on-1, and Hammond just has to make that one guy miss. But great open field tackle by number 1, Deshaun Bruce for Geneva. He's been making plays for Geneva on both sides of the ball.
Same formation, trips to the right. Meacham takes the ball, gives it to Cook. Cook all the way up the middle and scampers into the end zone for another Cougar touchdown.
And that's the second time today Ben Cooks find the Meehan Architecture end zone. Cougars piling on points here in the first half.
Let's see if they can solve their extra point problem. Ready for the snap. There it is. Ball down, kick up, and it's good.
Operation much smoother that time around on the PAT.
Oh, it clicked just like the way it's supposed to.
Geneva there still able to get a little bit of pressure on the right side of that line. But they're able to just hold long enough for the kick to get away.
We have about 7.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Cougars up 40-0 and about to kick off again.
And this kickoff, of course, brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
All right, well, let's see. It's going to be another kickoff, and I'm a bit shielded here from where we're going. It looks like Meacham is there, ready to spot the ball for the kickoff. Here comes Geneva out on the field. All by himself in the receiving position, one of the Geneva players waiting for the rest of his team to show up. And they're out there now. So let's see what kind of kickoff we get here in the second quarter. 7.5 minutes left. Meacham gets the signal and kicks the ball off. There it is, high in the air. It's a floater recovered in the air and brought up to the middle, bringing it to the sidelines is Geneva. We got a flag on the penalty, and the receiver is tackled about the 37-yard line.
Timothy Moore, senior wide receiver for Geneva on the return. This infraction likely in the neighborhood of a hold or a clip. Blocking infraction. Waiting for the call.
Here comes the referee. No, he's still talking with the others. No, now he's ready to signal. It's like holding on Geneva as expected.
So they'll march off 10 yards. And the Panthers are starting even deeper in their own territory. And I can't stress enough the situation that their offense is facing without Ray DeJesus out there for them.
Here comes Prodigy, lining up in the shotgun again, backs to either side. Takes the snap, drops back, passes quickly for a screen, and just about 2 yards. So there's that pursuit by HFL again, really closes down the play fast.
Yeah, that was Irvin to Gianni Velasquez. And that was another player that Coach Colin Cooper just was saying nothing but good things about. He said he was one of those kids. He said he was one of the few kids that didn't miss a single weight room session, 7-on-7, or field work, has really put in the time. And as a former linebacker, this being Colin Cooper, he's taken a lot of pride in Gianni because he knows that he has what it takes to play football at the next level potentially.
Again, we've got a pass that really wasn't too deep into the well, it looked like what happened was that the receiver thought that he was going to take the ball around the end. It's a classic mistake that receivers make. Instead of going up the field, they go sideways and they end up losing yardage. And in this case, he lost about 5 yards.
And offensively for Geneva, with their main signal caller out, I think they got to try and simplify things at this point for everybody involved. They come out here in a little bit of these complicated pass plays, which would not be complicated if Ray DeJesus was out there, but they're kind of just expecting players to figure things out on the fly. And Aaron Facek comes up and makes a big tackle in the backfield.
Another sack. Yeah, I was going to say that with a new personnel out there, the amount of options that you have in terms of play calling is going to be limited. You wouldn't have as many practices with all the different plays of the entire playbook. I wonder if that's hurting Geneva right now.
Yeah, it seems like they might have had a game plan, and they're trying to run it here with Irvin, and it just isn't quite there. Brings up 4th and 16, punting situation.
And there's the ball, and it's kicked deep over the head, and HFL just lets it go, and it just bounces deeper and deeper into HFL territory inside the 20, and it's going to stop there at about the 16.
Yeah, Steinhoff elected to just let that one roll. You can see he was on the the Geneva side of the midfield stripe. As with about 4:50 to go, Cougars leading 40-0.
Let's see if HFL decides to play a little run ball.
Or potentially get some of the backup quarterbacks involved. Meacham already with a handful of touchdown passes today. They've got 2 different options at the backup quarterback position with Holden Cam and Nate Meacham. Can't tell if Matt Meacham is in the huddle out there, number 6 for HFL.
I'm looking on the sideline to see if I can see him anywhere.
Think he's got to be in there. I do see number 19 Holden Cam warming up on the sideline here right in front of us, expecting to get some reps here. We'll see if HFL keeps their starters in for the rest of this first half.
Yeah, Meacham's out there, at least right now. Make that be Matt Meacham is out there, since we've got 2 Meachams. Well, this is like a TV timeout from the last game.
Yeah, extended timeout. HFL ready to go. Geneva breaks the huddle from their sideline. And I think, like you said, expect HFL with a heavy run attack here. Work the clock.
Watson Reed is coming out, so maybe they'll give him a rest. He's about 80%, so he could use the rest.
Yeah, Wazenreed been battling that lower body injury throughout the first half of this season.
Meacham in back there with Ben Cook. And he gives the ball to Cook. Cook takes it up the middle and Bulls ahead for about 5 yards.
And that's what offensive coordinator Dan Hoyt loves about Cook, is he can pretty much give him the ball and he's going to fall ahead almost every time for positive yardage. Coming into the day, he's averaging 7 yards a carry.
We got a little over 4 of that one, so it's 2nd and 6. And again, there he goes. It's different running back, and this time he's trying to go behind blockers, cuts it on the inside, and actually comes close to getting a first down.
Yeah, I think they're going to give Harrison Houle enough for a first down. First down, of course, brought to you by HFMP. Honeoye Falls Marketplace, True Blue Local, now celebrating their 40th anniversary.
And now we've got a third running back in the backfield there. Meacham takes the ball, gives it to him, and again, up the middle, grabbed by his shirt in the back, but he still drags the guy ahead for maybe a couple of yards.
Yeah, Jerry Lant there with that carry for the Cougars. So 3 different ball carriers so far on this possession. Yeah, it looks like there's a personal foul going against Geneva. So that'll be 15 yards and an automatic first down for HFL. And that first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Haddock delivered from the Boston Fish Pier every week, making HFMP's Friday Fish Fry with 2 sides and fries all the more delicious.
Houle comes in for
Jerry Lant there.
Lant there, yeah. So they are really doing running back by committee. Every other play, every play is a new running back.
And we talked about at the top of the broadcast, the heat. It's a little bit unseasonally warm for fall weekend, so HFL in the dark black jerseys, just trying to keep fresh legs out there at the running back position.
And there's Houle up the middle, about 2 yards, maybe 3. Yeah, keeping it simple and just running that clock down at this point seems to be the game.
And got to give credit to the offensive line for HFL today. They've been able to run the ball and pretty much get positive yards every play. That's Aaron Fasek, Brody Burke, Patrick Adair, Mitchell Martini, and Austin Kriego.
Meacham again, handing off up the middle, and again it's stopped after a couple yard gain, maybe a 1 yard gain on that one.
So it looks like they are just cycling these guys in every run play. That time it was Lant there again.
Well, you're bringing up 3rd and 6. Are they going to keep running, or are they going to pass this time?
I think they're just going to keep running this. The way that they've been able to run it.
And it could be 2 down territory if they get enough on this run. So it's Houle in the background. And it is going to be a quick pass over the middle, and it's looks like it was off the mark on that one. No one around.
Yeah, it looks like he was maybe intending to go to Alex Steinhoff there. That's who was trying to make a break on the ball. Not sure if he was trying to get it to Chase Perriman. Regardless, it stops the clock and brings up a punting situation for HFL. Also, given the lopsided score, I would imagine that even if HFL had gotten close to 4th and short, they probably still would have punted it.
Okay, there's the kick, and Bruce is back there to receive it. No, it bounces the wrong way. And
HFL thinks that might have touched a Geneva player. And it is confirmed, yeah. HFL football.
Looks like it just took a bad bounce.
Yeah, it was taking an HFL bounce, so it was bouncing back towards midfield, and I think it clipped the foot of a Panther. And as a result, that becomes a live football. HFL players with the awareness to jump on it and cover it up. So HFL back with the ball inside the 30-yard line, 2 minutes to go in the half.
All right, Ben Cook's in the backfield. I would expect a run here. Low snap, and there it is to Cook, and Cook cups it up the middle. He's running in the open field in the secondary, bounces off one guy and gets down inside the 10-yard line.
And that's just a great look at the low snap. Meacham able to recover, get the handoff to Cook, and Cook does the rest. Cutting ahead inside the 10-yard line. First and goal situation for HFL. Another HFL first down. Brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Start the day off with IO Organic Orange Juice on sale every Thursday at HFMP. 52-ounce bottle for only $2.99 each.
So the clock is continuing to run. Two backs in the backfield behind Meacham. And he fumbles the ball, and he's able to not recover it. Geneva picks it up, advances it to the 25-yard line. So a turnover. First turnover for HFL today. Second for both teams.
And it was Connor Guerreri, who was Johnny on the spot for the Panthers. They get the ball back with about a minute to go here in the second quarter. There was some issues earlier in the season with the snaps from the shotgun position for HFL. It seemed like they had worked out those kinks, but the last two plays, you had the low snap, which Meacham was able to recover. That one looked like a catchable snap. It just Meacham wasn't able to reel it in. Might have been a little bit outside, unable to pick up the fumble, and it's Geneva who's back with the ball.
And they run it off tackle, and it didn't even get to the tackle. Went to the backfield and got lost a few yards there.
Yeah, Timothy Moore tackled in the backfield by a handful of Cougars there. .30 seconds now left in the half.
Lots of players coming in and out as the clock continues to go. I don't know. They may have one more play to get off. I doubt that they're going to do anything too.
Yeah, I think
risky.
given the score 40-0, both teams are just looking to go to halftime. Geneva will get the ball to start the second half. I do think they need to snap this maybe one more time.
Back to pass. And he's got a wobbler that falls short. Nobody around there to even catch it either side. So that's it. That's the end of the first half with the score HFL 40, Geneva 0.
And we will take a quick commercial timeout here at halftime.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Today's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. For nearly 30 years, Alexander Enterprises has been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon. With a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies, there's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials. Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And Meehan Architecture with the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls soccer defeated Greece Odyssey last night in their homecoming game. Their next game will be next Tuesday against Eastridge. Meanwhile, the boys picked up a 5-0 victory over Greece Odyssey Thursday night. The win marked Coach Merrill's 200th career win. The boys' soccer team will host Pittsford Mendon tonight here on the turf. Four Corners Eye Care and Optical. Now celebrating over 30 years, Four Corners Eye Care and Optical provides full scope vision and eye care as well as quality optical services in the convenient location of the Four Corners of Honeoye Falls. Dr. Kissick and his staff are proud to call HFL home all these years. Hundreds of residents, including myself, are proud to call Dr. Kissick their optometrist. Give Dr. Kissick at Four Corners Eye Care and Optical a call at 624-2122. Also, the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, your local community newspaper since 1989. You can follow them along on their social media channels, visit their website for local community news, and we want to give them a special thank you for presenting today's broadcast. So we're going to take a break here at HFL for a little bit, potentially show some first half highlights, talk about the second half, some of the Alumni Hall of Fame inductees for HFL, the results of the parade floats, and then we'll be ready for the second half of action. So thanks so much for joining us here at the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. So with about 6 minutes here to go in halftime, do want to recognize the three latest inductees to the HFL Alumni Hall of Fame. They'll be inducted following today's football game in the high school.
So number one, we have Randy Hawk Hurley, Honeoye Falls-Lima High School class of 1985. He's a radio personality and station manager. Amo T. Krieger. She's from the Honeoye Falls High School class of 1917. She was the town's first historian and really has her roots going back to the pioneer days of Honeoye Falls. And finally, we have John Thomas Reynolds. He's the Lima High School class of 1959. He's an attorney and a veteran.
We also have the results of the 50th annual Fall Weekend float winners. So for the pre-K to 8th grade category, for the Workmanship Award, it was the HFL Middle School. The Creativity Award, it was the Manor School. The Spirit Award went to Great Expectations Child Care, and the overall category winner was Mendon Child Care UPK. For the high school category, in third place, it was the freshman class. In second place, it was the sophomores. First place was the juniors, but taking home the grand prize was the senior class of 2024 here at HFL. Special thanks to the judges for the parade, Mary McNamara, Garce Reed, and Sean Williams. So with about 4 minutes left here in the halftime period, still waiting both teams to come out from their respective locker rooms. We'll take another break here, and we'll be able to talk a little bit about what happened in that first half and what to expect in the second half. So again, thanks for joining us on the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. So the buzzer just sounded here at HFL, which means the halftime period has concluded. Both teams out of their respective locker rooms ready to warm up. We'll have about a handful of minutes added here to the clock, maybe about 2 or 3. That's typically what they do, just to give the teams a little bit of extra time to warm up. Cougars up 40-0 over Geneva. Obviously, the story has been the HFL offense been able to pretty much score at will and move the ball. And the story on the Geneva side has been Ray DeJesus, their quarterback, signal caller, has not been in there for them pretty much through most of the second quarter and potentially partway into that first quarter of play.
We saw some of the second team warming up on the sideline for HFL, so we expect probably to see more of them in the second half. But we should mention again the highlight of the first half was Matt Meacham's record-breaking touchdown throw.
Yep, as we mentioned on the broadcast that Matt Meacham had thrown his 36th career passing touchdown, surpassing Dan Hart's previous mark at 35. So another record in the book for Matt Meacham. Obviously still with a handful of games here to go in 2023, but another feather in his cap.
Still have a minute to go somewhat on the clock. Waiting for Geneva to come out. HFL's already on their sideline.
Yeah, no sign of Geneva. I thought I had seen them come out, but might have gotten... I saw that there were some players playing catch there on the Geneva sideline, or some ball boys or students, but not the actual team. So
again, it's a beautiful day. Maybe a little warm for some people, but definitely appreciated for a fall day.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get too many complaints from people here in Western New York getting weather like this in late September.
And here comes Geneva out of the locker room.
So Geneva will have the ball to start the second half offensively. We'll see what they end up rolling with. If maybe they just try and simplify the game a little bit for Prodigy Irvin, who's their backup quarterback, who was playing a handful of series in the first half. We'll see if he comes back into the backfield or if they end up going with somebody else. I did mention that Xavier Praler has been somebody who has taken a couple pass attempts throughout the season, or if Geneva elects just to get another playmaker in the backfield taking the snaps, whether it be somebody like Deshaun Bruce or somebody like Kadir Lawson.
You got to wonder what the Geneva coach would say in the halftime speech. And having been a coach of quite a few teams, I could tell you it's really difficult. But what you want to do is you want to get the players to focus on only the second half. And the cliche is, let's go out and win the second half. Don't worry about what happened in the first half. Let's just play the game as best we could, have fun, and try our best to win the second half. That's when we start keeping score again.
And these two teams, I had a chance to talk with both of their head coaches, and they kind of had a flipped schedule in terms of HFL had a gauntlet to start their regular season. They had the 2 games that they lost, and then they were able to win their next 2 to right the ship at 2-2. Meanwhile, Geneva able to start with their easier opponents, but here in the second half of their season, they're playing today at HFL. Next week, they're hosting Batavia. They'll play Vertus, and then they're on the road at Monroe. So just a very tough schedule for Geneva in the second half of this season. Meanwhile, HFL able to face some of their easier opponents here in the second half. Definitely that Wayne game, though, to end the season on October 20th, going to be circled on everyone's calendar.
Meacham's kick goes out of bounds, and that will be a penalty. So that kickoff was brought to you by
Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises, Rochester's most trusted contractor. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
So the ball's going to be placed on the Geneva 35-yard line. Looks like Prodigy's still back there at quarterback. There's a snap, and it's a handoff up the middle, and he didn't even make it back to the line of the scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like HFL still has a handful of their starters still in the game. On the D-line, I still see Owen Engler and Austin Kriego. So given the warmer weather, maybe Coach Russ wants to push them a little bit, make sure that they're well conditioned. They're going to have to play 4-quarter games later this year.
2nd and 11. Geneva comes up on the ball. The formation is really standard pro formation, and here we go again, running back. That's what I mentioned before. Instead of going off tackle, it looked like that was designed to go off tackle, and he cuts it off to the edge and just can't outrun the defense for Honeoye Falls.
And Connor Finn just flying upfield from his defensive back position to another tackle in the backfield. Now it's 3rd and 15, and Geneva 2 negative plays here to start the second half. Not a whole lot that they can do.
As a coach, you want to see your players disciplined on plays like that. Even though they're not going to make a lot, you want to see them carry through. The reason for that is those plays often set up future plays. There's a fumble. Geneva recovers behind the line. It'll be 4th and about 18, 19.
Three negative plays there, back to back to back for Geneva. Going to have to punt the ball.
So I was saying that the plays are designed so that they set up future plays. So sometimes your play won't generate yardage. And if you try to mess around with how the play is designed, it hurts future plays. You want to get your defense to, in the case of that off-tackle play, and here's the punt. Going deep and lets it bounce, takes a Geneva bounce. But your plays are designed with a purpose. As a coach, your plays are designed with purpose because you want to get the defense into certain tendencies. And once you get those tendencies established, that's when you do a jig instead of a jag, or a zig instead of a zag, whatever the word is.
So Matt Meacham still at quarterback for HFL here to start the second half. We thought maybe, given the score and the way that the offense has been able to produce, they'd elect to cycle some guys in offensively, maybe have a change at the quarterback position, but Matt Meacham is still in.
And there's the snap, and it's an end around, and he's tackled behind the line. So, oh no, he got through. He got through and did a little spurt, maybe about 2 yards. Thought he was going to get tackled behind the line.
Yeah, that's Chase Perryman again. Coach Russ told us that they're going to try and get him activated early and often. He was involved in a couple of plays in that first half. He gets the Cougars' first offensive snap of the second half, trying to get him up to speed after only joining the team this past week.
Meacham back to pass, and he's forced out of the pocket, throws it on the sideline, complete, and down at the 46-yard line of Geneva for a first down.
Yeah, nice job by Matt Meacham rolling out of the pocket, and that was Jack Farabell coming back along the sideline, able to get the first down for HFL, brought to you by HFMP. HFMP bakes sub rolls from scratch each day so that every bite of an HFMP submarine sandwich is bursting with flavor.
trips left for HFL. This is a pretty aggressive formation. Let's see if they, it's a screen pass, split end screen pass, cutting up midfield, and he's broken the play, and there's last man to beat, gets him down at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, credit to the HFL receiving corps in front of Landon Hammond there. Able to make a couple blocks. It looks like he had some linemen downfield to disrupt the defensive pursuit, but mostly that was Landon Hammond just finding that space in the open field, slicing downfield for another HFMP first down. HFMP is proud to be a good neighbor to the HFL community for 40 years.
Single back there. And it's a handoff off tackle up the middle for about 3 yards.
That was Lanther there for HFL, checking in with a carry. He, I believe, is one of the few running backs here for the Cougars that hasn't found the end zone today. He found the end zone last week. Wouldn't be surprised if the Cougars try and get him another score, as it's Harrison Houle checking in.
Double wide. Meacham in the shotgun. And it's a fake handoff. It's a lofting pass to the end zone, and it's in there for the touchdown.
Now, that is an interesting call because there was two players you'll see. That's Jack Farabell, number 10, who had the ball, but as the catch was completed, it was number 10, who's a freshman, Travis Tolbert Jr., who had stolen it from him, and he's arguing that he was ultimately the one who ended up with the ball, but by the time he had it, the ball and the play was out of bounds, so they will give the tie to the runner there, so to speak, and it is Jack Farabell finding the Meehan Architecture end zone.
Kick is blocked again.
Yeah, it looks like number 10, Robbie Johnson Jr. might have just gotten an outstretched fingertip on that one. Cougars 46, Geneva nothing.
As everyone lines up for yet another kickoff.
Which is, of course, brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Now, I got to imagine that's probably the last series that we're going to see the starters for HFL play in offensively.
That would make sense to me. I mean, why risk an injury at this point? The game is pretty much settled. You've got a backup quarterback for Geneva. Their offensive play scheme is really reduced from what it was earlier.
So Matt Meacham lining up for the kick. He's been busy today as the kickoff specialist for HFL, and he'll just squib kick along the HFL carpet, fielded by number 8, Kadir Lawson. Check that, that's number 9, Travis Tolbert Jr., who, true freshman for the Panthers. Coach Cooper told us he's another one of our kids that he's super excited about for his future, along with Gianni, who we mentioned earlier, he didn't miss the weight room, 7-on-7s or field work. He's really put in the time and effort, and it's showing for the amount of playing time he's getting.
And as a freshman, you've got to be excited to get your hands on the ball. I mean, how many of us have been in that situation where you're just going out there, you're happy to play, you don't usually touch the ball, you're an up back on the return team, so you're not expected necessarily to touch the ball, but you get it, and then you just want to run. And I think we saw that enthusiasm in his return.
So 1st and 10 for Geneva. Pass play, swing pass out in the direction of Timothy Moore, and he can't reel it in.
I wonder if that was a lateral. He threw it behind him. That was technically a lateral, but who's counting at this point?
called a incomplete pass. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Geneva. Clock will roll here at HFL, as it appears we are cycling into a continuous clock situation. And for Geneva, I'm just a little surprised that they're still trying to throw the ball here.
Well, again, you want to get practice in there. No matter who's out there, you want to have them have a chance. And that is why. Look, that's a great play.
And that's Deshaun Bruce with a big first down. Good job there by Prodigy Irvin to find Bruce.
And he was under pressure, and he maintained his cool and got the ball where it needed to go.
So one of the longer scrimmage plays there for Geneva so far through this one. Look to build on that big first down, operating inside HFL territory at the 35-yard line. Irvin from the gun, 2 running back set. Collects the snap, handoff. This is number 4, Anthony Passante, who will pick up about 4 yards there on first down.
Passante is a little bit more experienced, and you saw how he kept the play. He went right off tackle. He didn't try to break it off to the end. And it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but that's really what it's all about.
Irving again from the gun, and they'll hand it off again to Passante. He'll get about to the 30-yard line. So not sure if he'll gain anything, just about enough to get back to the line of scrimmage. Bring up a 3rd down situation for the Geneva Panthers.
And if you're developing a team, you want to be in situations like this because it is not an easy thing to get 5 yards on 3rd down. So you want to give them the experience to feel what it's like when you're under this kind of pressure to gain this many yards on a critical play.
3rd and 5 for the Panthers. Handoff to number 2. That's Timothy Moore, able to make the first man miss. Another miss, but all that work just to get back around to the line of scrimmage.
And I think you saw the speed of HFL on this. He did break it out, but look, HFL just strung it out. So it didn't really amount to much in terms of return. And I think that they're going to have to go for it here.
Like you said, HFL defense just has hats flying to the ball. He's able to make those tackles, able to miss those tackles in the backfield, but that just gives the defenders more time to come up and fill. So 4th and 5 situation here for Geneva. Operating inside HFL territory, trying to extend their 2nd drive here of the 3rd quarter.
I think you're going to have to pass in this situation.
We did see a big pass play from Irving to Bruce. Low snap. Irving picks it up, surveys around, still on his feet, and eventually he's just swallowed up by that HFL pass rush. Saw Cooper Levine there in the backfield. He was our Bullfinch Fund player to watch here defensively for HFL, and he's done a great job today.
Prodigy did a great job of really trying to get away the first few blockers, but he had nowhere to go. By the time he had the ball in his hands, HFL was surrounding him, and it's just too bad because I would have liked to see how that play developed.
So HFL offense back with the ball. Meacham on the sideline in a headset. So that means we've got a change at quarterback for the Cougars. Checking in number 7. This is Holden Cam for the Cougars. Jerry Lant there, the running back to his right. 4 receiver set. Collects the snap, bobbled. That's a live football. Going to be recovered by number 50. That's Dakota Bajas for Geneva.
And just as it was difficult for the second quarterback to come in on Geneva's side in terms of handling the ball, we just saw the same thing for HFL.
So the miscue on offense for HFL sets up great field position for Geneva, about where they were when they failed to convert that last 4th down. They were able to move the ball a little bit running, but they were unable to convert the 4th down conversion on the pass play. We'll see what they elect to do here as we close in on the remaining minutes of the 3rd quarter. This is a pass play. Throwing the ball downfield, going to be caught by Bruce. Bruce powers ahead, and he's into the end zone. That's Deshaun Bruce on the pass from Gianni Velasquez for the Panthers, and they're on the board here with 2:21 to go. Take another look at that one.
So that achieved 2 things, that play. One, it's fun. It's fun to have a play like that. And Geneva deserves a lot of credit for executing it the way you're supposed to. The second thing it does is it gives Geneva a 6-0 lead in the second half.
Yeah, you talked about winning the second half. Although HFL, I believe, had a score earlier in the quarter.
Oh, sorry.
Although this extra point will give them the lead.
That's true.
In the second half. Yeah. HFL had that opening possession touchdown. So here is the first point after attempt for number 23, Jack McCormack for the Panthers. Here's the snap, hold, kicks up and good.
So now everybody knows I have ESP.
So the Panthers prevent the shutout here at HFL. They're got 7 on the board. Upcoming kickoff here brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specializes in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
What do you want to practice here? Do you want to practice kickoffs or do you want to practice onside kicks? Because that's really the choice for the Geneva coach.
I mean, I think at this point, just play the game normally here. I don't think you're going to be able to string together enough onside kicks and recoveries and touchdowns here to make the game competitive. I'm more interested to see HFL here, what they elect to do offensively. Senior Matt Meacham done for the day. They got junior Holden Cam, who's a quarterback, could be potentially the starter next season. This will give him some valuable reps. You also got Nate Meacham, who's a sophomore. I would imagine he gets some reps. Now, he might be limited. He's a JV player. So in order for him to be eligible for the next JV game, I believe he's only allowed to play 10 snaps. So we'll maybe see him for a series. But just giving HFL's second string varsity reps, I think is going to be definitely beneficial to them in the long run here. So here's McCormick ready to kick off. And booming kick. Keaton Yates having to back up to his own 7-yard line to field it. And he's up along the near sideline where he's met at the 30, but ultimately tackled at the 35-yard line.
Well, that was an impressive kick.
So the Cougar offense comes back out on the field.
I think on that replay you saw how Geneva stayed in their lanes. Really prevented much more of a return on that. That's one of the things about the deep kicks is that they do often get a lot of returns because it takes so long for the receiving team or the coverage team to get down.
So last time Holden Cam was unable to reel in the snap. This time he's able to get it, and he hands off to Jerry Lanther, who's going to be met in the backfield. And I don't think he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so that's going to be a loss of 1. Missed the, I believe that was Velasquez, number 11, who ended up making the stop in the backfield from his linebacker position as we close in under 2 to go here in the third quarter. So Cam again coming out in the shotgun. Lanther to his left, doubles formation, and this is going to be another handoff. Ball's on the ground. Nope, they're going to say he's down.
Now you got to bear in mind that not only is the quarterback new, I think the center is also new. So they're just getting that exchange down. Earlier we talked about the technique between the center, the holder, and the kicker on extra points. It's the same thing on offensive plays between the center and the quarterback, especially in shotgun situations.
So 3rd and long situation. And it looks like, yeah, we do have a new center. It's number 71, Nathan Adair. Here's another handoff to Lanther. Lanther able to get up to about the 36-yard line, so it's going to be 4th and 9 for HFL. Punting situation. Matt Meacham will come back onto the field of play for this punt.
You know, that might not have looked impressive, but it actually was. You have your second team out there just getting the fundamentals down, the blocking and tackling with pretty straightforward plays. Keep it simple, get their blood flowing a little bit for a sense of the game, and maybe as they move forward, you're going to see a little bit more aggressiveness, excitement as they move down the field next time they get the possession of the ball.
And we'll see, and HFL is going to punt the ball as you hear the buzzer there. So that punt will be the last play of the 3rd quarter, and we will take one more look at that punt by Meacham, and he just kicks it out of bounds. So Geneva will have field position up near midfield. We'll take a quick commercial timeout here at HFL.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue, local, uncompromised, quality close to home.
Today's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. For nearly 30 years, Alexander Enterprises has been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and paint. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe, with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering specials and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials. Also, Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And with the Meehan Architecture Sports Update, girls tennis hosted Eastridge this past Thursday, while girls swimming and diving traveled up to Webster for a meet last night. The girls swim team will host Eastridge this Tuesday. As we have a big play here for the Geneva Panthers up past the HFL 30-yard line, although we had a handful of flags, so this one might be coming back.
You know, Geneva's definitely mixing things up here, and it's a good thing that they're doing that. It's actually good not only for Geneva, but it's good for HFL, because HFL needs to, again, just see what those mixed-up plays look like, because they're going to see them later on in the season, maybe in critical situations or circumstances, and they have to know this is what's going to happen, these misdirection plays.
So the long play on second down gets negated by a holding call. So the Panthers will be moved back. It'll be 2nd and about 13 now, we'll call it. Irving back in the shotgun here. Handoff to Moore. He's able to make a man miss, and now he's up along the sideline, past midfield, cuts inside the 40 and escorted out of bounds. So a first down run there.
Look at the back, the wide receiver coming back like he was going to get the ball. So that's part of that misdirection play. You notice how that first play, the one with the penalty on, it actually set up this play. The defense might have been thinking, oh, watch that guy getting out in reverse. Didn't happen. The original running back was able to hit the sideline and get the first down.
That was Frank Sackett, who was able to push Moore out of bounds after picking up a big chunk of yards, as it's now 1st and 10 for Geneva, as we have what appeared to be a little bit of misdirection, but instead it's going to be Moore who ends up keeping it, and he's going to pick up about 5 or 6 yards there on 1st down.
I'm wondering if that was an option. He showed the ball like he was going to hand off to the receiver coming around end, but he tucked it in and took it upfield.
Yeah, I don't know if he just sensed the amount of HFL players that are around him and ended up just pulling it back in and trying to get upfield. Ended up getting, like I mentioned, about 6 yards on that 1st down play, so it'll be 2nd and about 4.
Now, Geneva has to be careful because if you run those plays too many times in a row, sooner or later you're going to have to pay for it.
So on 2nd down, it's a handoff. This is to number 11. That's Gianni Velasquez, and he's going to get a 1st down and more inside the 20-yard line. So Geneva now inside the red zone here in the 4th quarter of play.
Did you see that hole that opened up off tackle here? Look at that. I mean, my guess is that because of all the misdirection plays earlier, the HFL defense, they were on the balls of their feet wondering which way to go when the ball was snapped, and that left them a step behind.
So Geneva knocking on the door again. We'll see if they can put more points up on the board here in the 2nd half of play. Irving lines up in the shotgun. He's going to hand off. Handoff goes to number 9, Travis Tolbert Jr., who's going to get tackled in the backfield by Keaton Yates. So this will be a loss of about 1 or 2 yards.
There we go. Now, he lost yardage on this when he could have maybe gained a yard just by maintaining the original play in the hole where it was designed. This is, again, I said this before, the discipline that's required of these running backs. Don't break it to the outside because rarely can you outrun the defense.
So 2nd and 12 for the Panthers. They've been pretty much running the ball the bulk of this offensive possession. We'll see if they continue moving the ball on the ground or if they elect to throw. Here's a pass right on cue, and Irving is end up going to throw, and that's intercepted at the goal line. That's number 24 for HFL. That's Frank Sackett. He got burned for a touchdown on the Panthers' previous possession, but this time he's able to prevent the touchdown, picking off Irvin and then returning it out to about the 8-yard line.
He just tried to force that ball in. He couldn't run that much farther ahead because you had 2 defenders about to get him. But again, this is now on the quarterback. The quarterback has to have the discipline to take the sack. In that case, it wouldn't have been a sack. It would have been a slight gain, and not throw the ball into the kind of coverage that he threw it into.
So the interception pins the Cougars offense deep inside their own territory. Holden Cam still in at quarterback for HFL, and it's Jerry Lonthair to his right. Cougars spread the field with a 4-receiver set. Handoff to Lonthair, who's going to lose a handful of yards.
Geneva was anticipating that all the way. If you look and see on the replay what happened, the defensive lineman of Geneva was crouching towards the play, really kind of jumping on the play, and got in just as the snap happened. This could also be, again, with a new quarterback, you might have a snap count that's easier for the defense to guess. So what I would do, I would say to go on 2 instead of 1, get the defense out of rhythm if you're the quarterback.
So after the loss of 4, it's a handoff, this time to Keaton Yates. And I don't think he's going to get a whole lot there, maybe a yard. That was number 24 for the Geneva Panthers, Dominic Carter, on the stop. So they call it no gain, 3rd and 14. Cougars inside their own 5-yard line. Holden Cam in the shotgun. His heels are in his own end zone. A little bit of a high snap, looks to throw. Lofts one up in the direction of number 4 for the Cougars. And that is Carson Meehan, who reels in the first down catch for HFL. That first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Entertaining at your home, HFMP is the exclusive purveyor of wholly sustained raised shrimp located in their frozen seafood department.
Meehan was covered by 2 defenders on that one, but he did something that the defenders didn't do. He kept his eye on the ball and actually followed through on it. The defenders probably could have stopped that play if only they would have done that.
So after the big first down through the air, Cougars setting up. It's going to be a handoff to Yates, and he's going to be ripped down by number 11, Gianni Velasquez, for the Geneva Panthers.
Again, Geneva's just getting the jump on the ball. This could be an example of just second team linemen getting their feet wet in terms of trying to plug those holes. And again, this is valuable experience. Even if the defenders are coming through the holes, this is showing the offensive lineman what's going on in live action. Practice is one thing, but when you're out there in a real game, it's totally different, and you need to kind of get that experience to improve.
So 2nd and 14 for HFL. Handoff to Yates, and he'll fall ahead for about a yard, so that'll bring up 3rd and 13 for the Cougars as we're under 4.5 to play in the 4th quarter.
Well, I guess we'll see a pass. If we saw a pass last time from the end zone, we're going to see something this time. You need 13 yards or 14 yards, and it's not a lot of options on getting that, especially if you try running the ball.
Holden Cam from the pistol formation had motioned out to a receiver on his right side, and it is a pass play. Cam's forced to be flushed out of the pocket, loads up a deep ball, and that's going to be intercepted. That's number 1, Deshaun Bruce for the Panthers, who's still going, still on his feet, up past the 40, makes a man miss. He's Geneva's most dangerous player when he's in space inside the 30, the 20, the 10, and he's finally ripped down from behind. What a interception and return by Deshaun Bruce. It was number 60 for HFL who ended up preventing the touchdown. That's Alessandro Pringle with the touchdown-saving tackle.
Now, I wouldn't necessarily fault the throw on that one because it was, in effect, a punt if they would have tackled Bruce where he intercepted it. But once you let him out there in open field, you never know what's going to happen, and you saw how far he brought it back.
So Panthers right back into the red zone. Last time they were here, they threw the interception, as we have an official timeout on the field. And there's the whistle. So now we are back ready to play. Not sure what was going on, but we are ready to go here. About 3 minutes to go. Here's the handoff. Churning out yards is number 11, Gianni Velasquez for Geneva.
Now I want you to see what the Geneva players are doing in the last 2 plays, that interception return and on this run. Notice how the man with the ball is really not giving up. He's not going down if he's hit. He's trying his best to stay up. The score is 46-7, but they're not giving up. And this is what I meant earlier about the second half is not the first half. You play to win the second half. Forget about what happened in the first half because people will remember. People will remember that you did not give up.
And that's something that Coach Colin Cooper praised about his team, especially his defense through the first half of the season, the amount of heart that they had played with. As here's Irving, who's going to be sacked in the backfield, going to lose a handful of yards. But to go back to Colin Cooper's quote, he was just talking about how impressed he was with the heart that his team has been playing with, and he hopes that they keep up that sort of intensity and will and drive through the second half of the season. And, you know, the scoreboard might not be in their favor, but like you said, they haven't wavered at all as the games continued along.
You know, in that example, that last play, you saw Irvin as a running back, not as a quarterback. He was trying to break it on the outside. As a quarterback, he might have done something different. He might have gone into the line and just taken the 1 yard gain, or he might have dropped back and threw the ball away in the end zone.
Here's the handoff to Moore. Springs outside, and he's going to be into the end zone for a touchdown. So Geneva finds the end zone for the second time today. This time it's number 2, senior wide receiver Timothy Moore on the carry.
Yeah, there was a breakdown of Cantain on that play that you might have seen in the replay. It was tough to tell what happened, but it was the defensive end just didn't keep the play from going to the outside. There was nobody on the outside, so once it got there, it was virtually guaranteed to be a score.
So here's McCormick back in for the point after attempt. Trying to get Geneva 14 points. Snap, low hold, and we have a whistle. Shut the play down. We'll await the call here. We've got encroachment on the HFL defense, so that'll move the ball a half yard closer to the goal line. Looks like Geneva will decline that, and they will just try again. So let's do that again. Jack McCormick lined up for the point after. Snap better this time. Hold blocked. And I believe that might have been Holden Cam, number 7, who kind of blocked that with his backside.
Yeah, there were just everybody was in the backfield there for HFL. It was a complete breakdown on the offensive line.
So the Cougars will be back deep for this kickoff, which is brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specializes in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. So with about just under 90 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, HFL will likely be finishing this thing off. We'll see maybe a victory formation, or maybe they just want to run a couple more run plays. In any case, Geneva likely will be leaving here now 3-2, and as we mentioned earlier, they have a tough test ahead of them. After today's game, they got to host Batavia, then they'll be at Virtus, and then at Monroe. So this is just a gauntlet for Geneva to end their season. Likely, though, they'll be able to compete in postseason play here, and they could potentially see any of these teams that they have in the second half of the season in the opening round or even the second round of sectionals. Meanwhile, the Cougars, with a win here today, that would put them above 500 as we have an end-over-end kick. And the Cougars just take a knee there. That's Connor Finn. We'll see if they come out in victory formation. So next week, they're going to be on the road at Rochester Prep, and then on October 14th, they're going to be hosting Dansville Wayland Cohocton. We'll have that game live here on the Sentinel. It'll be senior night for HFL, so some more festivities at that game. And then that last game of the season, which I think is going to be an important game to decide probably the final seeding for Section 5 Class B, is going to be at Wayne on October 20th. So the Cougars do, in fact, come out in victory formation. Meacham is back on the field under center, and he should only have to kneel it maybe once or twice here, probably 2 times to close out the game. And he takes the first knee, so that'll start the clock, and he should only have to do it one more time.
Are we going to have a special guest at that Dansville Wayland game?
I don't believe so.
No?
Potentially, though.
We'll have to wait and see. You'll have to tune in and find out.
So here we go. 2nd and 11. Cougars should just need to take one more knee to make this thing official. And Meacham takes the knee, and that should do it here at HFL. Final score, 46-13 as the clock continues to roll down. I think the highlight of the game certainly was Meacham passing the handful of touchdowns that he needed to throw in order to set the new career passing touchdown record at HFL. So the final score will be 46-13. Chris, any closing thoughts here before we sign off?
Well, I thought it was a well-played game by both teams, very sportsmanlike on the part of HFL and very diligent on the part of Geneva. They really didn't give up, and I was impressed with that.
So we want to thank our crew here before we sign off, as well as our sponsors. As I mentioned, our next broadcast will be October 14th, while HFL hosts Dansville Wayland Cohocton. Until next time, thanks for tuning in to the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel live online.